about our college. PowerPoint, just to guide you, I know that teachers can throw a lot at you, and it's probably wordier than I would like, but I won't read them to you. So as long as I can get this to work. Now, there are some handouts that tell you a little bit about our college, but typically you can look at some data and it's not very different from any other community college. The majority of our students are female. Here, South Piedmont has 2 counties in its service area, Union County and Anson County, very, very diverse. Just like Union County itself is very diverse, because you go from Western Union, which is urban, and you go down to the east, and it becomes more rural, and Anson County then extends that rural type of atmosphere. The majority of our students, because we have 4 locations, the majority of our students are where the population resides, and that's really in Monroe at our, we call it OCH, Old Charlotte Highway campus. But we do have some specialty programs at some of our other areas, and we'll talk a little bit about that. A community college has, I would call it, multifarious mission. We do a lot of things, and we tend to divide it in 2 areas, our credit bearing and our non-credit bearing. And so our credit bearing is what most people are talking about when we talk about a junior college. They used to be, back in when the community college started, which is, it's an American institution. It started in 1901 actually in Illinois as a junior college. And it was to provide those first 2 years of a bachelor's degree. And so that's our credit bearing. It has to do with our associate's degrees and certificates and diplomas that most people are used to. And then our non-credit bearing, what we call continuing education, are our short course trainings, our community enrichment and such, and we're pretty evenly divided with that. About 50% of our programming is credit-based and about 50% is continuing education. And you can see we're very well split with our age groups, but the average age of our student is actually 31. So when you think about that, we tend to serve an older population. Now, part of that could be that our continuing education headcount is slightly higher than our curriculum headcount. And our curriculum side tends to serve more of the 18 to 24-year-olds, whereas our continuing education part tends to serve some of the older generation, people wanting to come back to work and get short course training or just some enrichment. Now, I'm often asked about my vision. And a vision doesn't just happen. It doesn't happen behind your desk. This is our current vision, because we have a strategic plan right now that runs through 2018. But as you know, whenever you're talking about a strategic planning, you have to start early, because what you really want is the community to be involved in that. So we're getting ready to really plan this out. And what we would like to do is start with these community conversations, and that's getting focus groups from different aspects of the community to talk about what South Piedmont means to them, or what it should mean to them, what they're looking for, what that service is that can best serve them. And when we talk about the needs, we're not just looking at the needs of today, we want to look at our future needs too. And we do serve our employers, we serve our constituents, we serve our citizens. So looking forward, what would those needs be? What we do know is that we want to be the most comprehensive and relevant training institution for our employers. And we do know that we want to be recognized for excellence in educating our students for their first 2 years of post-secondary education. And we'll talk a little bit about the value of a community college for that. We have another opportunity though. As you all know, and I am very, very grateful for the support from our community in helping us to get a $40.2 million bond in Union County. And what that allows us to do is to build new buildings as well as renovate some of our existing buildings. And as you can see, we have tremendous need. On our Old Charlotte Highway campus, we still have buildings named by Building A and Building B. So I think as we start to look at these buildings, and we need to renovate them because one was an old bank built in 1981 and was renovated in 2003, I believe, and it's in desperate need of some renovation. We need to actually get it back up to code, some current code. But there are also some programs there, because when we talk about instructional spaces need to be designed for their purpose. And when you moved into an existing building with all kinds of twists and turns and odd shaped spaces, it's not very conducive to learning. And so there's gonna be some renovation, and that's what we call Building A. Building B is a bit newer, 2003, but still has not been renovated, and we have a lot of programs in there, a lot of our allied health programs, that we also need to get up to a level where we're meeting our current and future needs there. Our Tyson Family Center, that is about 2 miles east of our Old Charlotte Highway campus, and that was an old warehouse distributor building. And it's a great building, and we have a lot of specialty programs there. But our original design was for 2 floors, so that we could get up to about 75,000 square feet of instructional space. But right now, we're at about 12,000. And so some of the bond money, the Union County bond money, as well as, if you recall, there was a Connect NC grant that all 58 community colleges in North Carolina shared $350 million. We had about 3.2. And it's mainly to renovate, because in a community college, our funding comes from a couple of sources. Our main funding is based on what we call full-time equivalents, FTE, and that's, one FTE represents 1 student taking 16 hours. Most of our students don't take 16 hours, but it could also mean 16 students taking 1 hour. But that represents a full-time equivalent, and there's a dollar amount based on each FTE. And so the majority of our funding is based on enrollment. But we have county funds that we must use for anything related to our physical space. We cannot use state dollars for that. And those monies are very, very scarce. And so the Connect NC bond was to help us repair some of our spaces. And so that's part of what we would be doing at the Tyson Family Center. Our 2 new buildings, on our Old Charlotte Highway campus, we're in desperate need of additional space. We have about 28 square feet per student there, and the average, or the amount of space, square feet per student, should be 100. So we are very, very limited in our space. And so building a new building gives us that additional space, and we'll actually get up to about 67 square feet per student once we have that building online. And that would be mainly STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math. So those programs will be the main programs. And then on the first floor, what I love about this is that it's going to create some efficiencies for serving our students. Because right now, when a student comes onto the campus, there are different locations they must go to get through the registration process and to go through counseling, and we're gonna put those all in one space. And then that allows us to renovate building A and B once we get students into the STEM building. Now, there's another building that we're building too. The majority of the population in Union County is west of Monroe. And 79% growth rate in Union County since 2000. Our population is here. And one thing that we're looking at the types of programs and the location that we need for this new building in Western Union. And what we're finding is too many students that would be going to a community college are not going to South Piedmont because there isn't a location here. Students are not going to travel more than about 15 minutes. That's on average what the desire is. And we need to be here. We need to be out here because we're losing too many to the west. And I want to tell you a little student story based on that. Because one of the things that I espouse with South Piedmont is our sense of family and our excellent programming. I ran into a student the other day, and she was actually at the President's List breakfast. That means that she's earned a 4.0. She was an older student, had been out of the workforce for 12 years, and is trying to get back into web administration. And so as I'm talking to her, she says, she said, my son graduated from this very same program at another community college. She said, and when I show him what I'm studying, he has no idea what I'm talking about, and he's a graduate. She said, your programs are so much more rigorous than any that I have found. And what I like about that, now she's a 4.0 student, she's getting ready to go to tutoring, just so you know. But it's not about making it to the point where you're running students out, but it's making it so that they're ready for the workforce. And that is key. And that is what I say about South Piedmont Community College. Oftentimes we cannot compete if you want to talk about competition for students, with a larger school, but we can in quality and we can in service. And that's something that's very important to us. Now, when you look at what you have here in the gray, this is another fact about Union County, that over almost 69% of the population is actually participating in the labor force. And 57%, if you see that number, over almost 62,000 people in Union County between the ages of 25 to 64 have less than an associate's degree. So when you look at all of these statistics, we have a real value that can help change the lives for so many people. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about our programs. We talked about the fact that we have credit and non-credit programs, but we also not only have community enrichment, but a lot of business and industry support. This shows you a listing of our credit-bearing and career and technical education. Now, we also have general associate degrees programs, Associate of Arts, Associate of Science, and Associate of Fine Arts, that are designed for students that just want those first 2 years of a 4-year degree, and then they transfer out. And these prepare you for the workforce. And you can see a variety of them that truly serve the needs of our community. Now, one thing I wanted to note, under our engineering technologies grouping, I have 2 programs that are bold, highlighted, asterisk. And that's because these 2 programs if students are interested in those, we have a unique opportunity for them. And that's an apprenticeship program. Now, apprenticeship is very popular in Europe. And so European companies are much more interested in looking at apprenticeships, but we need more. We need more of our industries to consider this, because the industry itself, the company works directly with the North Carolina Department of Commerce to design a study program for students where they're getting 8,000 hours of on-the-job training plus 1,750 hours of classroom instruction while earning wages. These students have tremendous advantages by going through an apprenticeship program, and the company has advantages because they're getting a skilled labor force. They get to be part of this training so that they are training students directly for their culture and their jobs. And you can see some of the advantages. There's a tremendous return on investment for these employers. So we really want to get more of our employers, and we have a wonderful industrial base here in Union County. Now, I know that when you look at data related to the residential versus the industrial, we're kind of way off. We want to be 70-30, but we're about 90-10. But of that base, we have some good, strong companies here. And so one of our roles is to get there and to talk to them. And I'm always looking for help, because I know that in any of these groups, there are people that are connected to those industries, and I want us to talk more about building up our apprenticeship program. Now, business and industry support. I think that some companies, or maybe even citizens, don't know about this aspect of what we do. We have workforce readiness training, and that is a comprehensive group of programs up here in the corner that helps individuals that are unemployed, underemployed, or dislocated. These are free classes that help prepare you for the workforce. It could be resume writing, job search, basic technology for the workforce, QuickBooks, Microsoft Office, social media for job seekers, but there's a whole array of programs for that group of individuals that are free of charge. We have short-term training. Now, when I talk about short-term training, I'm talking about a non-credit-based training program, but can teach specific skills like welding, okay? We have some short-term training in some of our career and technical areas. Career readiness certificate, that's a national certificate. Have anybody ever heard about the workforce ready communities? it's a designation for counties or cities or even the state. We're trying to become a workforce ready state. One of the criterion to become workforce ready is the percentage of students that have a career readiness certificate, because what this is it gives students a designation. It's silver, bronze, silver, and gold. And it's based on whether they can read for information, whether they have some math application skills, and there's one more, and I can't think of it right off the top of my head, but there are 3 main areas, and this is a national certification. So you can get that at South Piedmont Community College. Our Small Business Center is for new or those interested in developing a small business or existing small business owners. And you know, the small businesses in our communities are a huge part of our economy. And we have free services which can help develop feasibility plans or writing a business plan. And these are, again, free and directly related to running and operating a small business. And our customized training program. This is actually, the role that I had before was BioNetwork. We used to work with our customized training program. And what customized training is another partnership with the North Carolina Department of Commerce. So when there is a company, it's part of economic development, it's part of incentives to get companies to either expand or locate in North Carolina. And so the Department of Commerce, as a company, is either experiencing job growth, technology enhancement, or they wish to enhance their own productivity. They may qualify for customized training dollars. And what that is the Department of Commerce channels it through the local community college for the industries in that service area, and they get training that is specific to their needs. When that training is a biotech company, like we have with Glenmark here, then BioNetwork becomes that training source. And I can tell you, we have highly skilled trainers within BioNetwork, and the customized training program itself can pull highly skilled individuals, anywhere from Lean Six Sigma to conflict management to leadership training. There's a whole array of things that can be put together in a customized package for that company, and it's little to no cost to the company. So it's a wonderful program from the community college. Our community enrichment, we have several things. I did talk earlier to an individual here about Veterans Coffeehouse as well. Things that help support our community. And if any of you are veterans or know veterans, we, on the 3rd Wednesday of every month at 8:30, I believe, we have breakfast for our veterans. And at that breakfast, we have individuals that talk to some aspect of their interest. It could be benefits. I think we talked about the healthcare benefits yesterday. And I can tell you this is growing. It warms my heart every time I see a room full of veterans. And they come for the camaraderie and the information. So it's a wonderful event. We also really pride ourselves on partnerships. The UNC system are the 16 UNC institutions, as well as, I don't have it in here, but we also have an articulation agreement with our independent colleges and universities that have signed on. So we call them the signatory independent universities, and Wingate is one of them. And what we have developed as a community college system with the university system is an agreement that they accept our general education courses, our 30 hours of general education courses, as the first 2 years of their education, so that our graduates get guaranteed admission as a junior. And that's huge. Can you imagine 16 universities agreeing with 15 community colleges? That took a while. Now, there was an agreement in the past, but it ended up kind of dissolving. There was like one class, English 111, that they would actually accept. And now, they take all 30 of our credits. So it's a wonderful agreement. The early college and career college promise, those are high school programs. Our high school students take community college classes free of charge. Our early colleges allow students to be on the community college campus. It is a high school on our campus, and they will earn a high school diploma and an associate's degree in 5 years. It's a phenomenal partnership. Career and College Promise also allows high school students to earn college credits for free, but they're at their resident high school when they do that. And they have to actually graduate high school before they can become a community college graduate through this program. They do it together generally, but you've got to time it. But when you think about the opportunities for our high school students to get their college free of charge, it's transformational. We need to get more of our students interested in this because it's a tremendous savings. The savings can be, this right here is what the average tuition and fee is for the 16 institutions in the UNC system. Average tuition fees per year is $65.79. For South Piedmont, it's a little over $2,000. It's a 69% savings per year if they attend community college for their first 2 years. If they're a high school student, it's 100% savings, right? So that's where we're really wanting our parents and the counselors to think about the value that we have. Last year, you can see 590 high school students collectively saved almost $500,000 by taking the Career and College Promise programs. And of course, we talked about quality. Now, the community college, I talked about the way we earn funds. We also earn it on performance. And we have to meet certain performance standards. No other higher education institution has to do that, but we do. And in our college transfer for South Piedmont, what this shows you is, this is the baseline. This is what the community colleges hope to achieve, that 65% of their transfer students earn at least a 2.25 GPA after their second semester at the senior institution. So what happens is our graduates, or those with 30 hours, at least 30 hours, that go to a transfer institution, a UNC, or in this case, we compare it with our UNC students. They are compared against native UNC students. And we have to outperform them. And so at South Piedmont, we didn't just hit the baseline. We didn't just hit the median for the entire community college system. We surpassed the excellence level. So that speaks for the quality of our graduates. And I'm at the end. So I want to talk a little bit also about South Piedmont not just being an educational institution, but it is also an economic driver. When you look at, and this is from 2014 because I didn't have recent enough data, so 3 years ago, our impact on the community was almost $104 million. And so when you have a community college that can offer this type of array of programs for business and industry, for our students and for our citizens, the impact on the community is huge. And I love that picture. There's nothing better to me than convocation and graduation. So, that is the end of my presentation.